As we shall see, this prophecy is divided into periods of 3 sections of different times which are referred to as a week. So to understand this, first of all, we have to say, what does the prophecy mean by a week? Now, all of you know what a week is. It's 7 days, isn't it? And the Hebrew word shavua is 7, and that's the word which is used here in the book of Daniel. And it usually applied to 7 days, which are 1 week, but it can also be applied to a period of 7 years. And in the book of Genesis, you have an example of how this word is used, shavua, when Laban, you remember the story of Laban and of Jacob, who went to be to work for Laban, his uncle, and he worked for a week of 7 years, first of all for Leah, wanting to get Rachel, but got Leah instead. That's a long story as well, but then he prayed, he wanted to have Rachel, and Laban said, fulfill her week, and we will give you this one also for the service which you will serve with me still another 7 years. So here we have an example which shows to us that the word shavua, 7, can mean a period of 7 years, as well as a period of 7 days. And clearly in this prophecy, Daniel is talking about a period of 7 years, not 7 weeks. So the word shavua means a period of 7 years. Also, we see that in the ancient world, people calculated the year for the purpose of their festivals as 12 times 30 days. In other words, 360 days. If you look in the book of Daniel and Revelation, you'll find that they assume 360-day year. Now, you may be thinking, well, there are 365 days in the year. How does this work out? Without getting too complicated, if you look into the book, you'll find that this is the period which is used for a period of a year. In the book of Revelation, you have the time frame given for 3 events. The same event, but given in 3 different ways. It's the period of the last half of the Great Tribulation period. Now, again, in the Great Tribulation, you have a period of 7 years, and this actually comes into this prophecy as well. The last week of the prophecy of Daniel is, I believe, the 7-year period of the tribulation. That period is divided into half, 3.5 years, and in Revelation you have 3 passages, one which says, then the woman fled into the wilderness, where she has a place prepared by God, that they should feed her there for 1,260 days. That is 360 times 3.5. If you've got a calculator, you can check this out. 1,260 days. In Revelation 12:14, it says, but the woman was given 2 wings of a great eagle, that she might fly into the wilderness to her place, where she is nourished for a time and times and half a time from the presence of the serpent. The word they use for times is one which implies 2, 1 plus 2 plus a half, 3.5, 3.5 years. Revelation 13:5, he was given a mouth speaking great things, and blasphemers was given authority to continue for 42 months. 42 months, 3.5 years. The last half of the tribulation period. Now, we're not actually looking at that. I've just shown you that to show that the period of 360 days is used in this passage to speak of a prophetic year. That makes sense? People looking a bit puzzled. But hopefully you'll see where it's leading to. Now, coming to the Daniel prophecy itself, we see that the 70-week period is divided into 3 periods. 7 plus 62 plus 1. You may not even need a calculator to work out that that adds up to 70. And the Hebrew word which is used for determined, 70 weeks to determined, is the word chatak, which can also mean to divide. So this period of 70 weeks is divided into 3 sections. 7 plus 62 plus 1 equals 70 weeks. At the end of the 69th week, that's 7 plus 62, Messiah will be cut off. Now, this is the most interesting point for us as believers, and we'll see where we can come to with that. Not quite yet. Following this event, we read that the people of the prince to come will destroy the city, i.e. Jerusalem, and the sanctuary, i.e. the temple. Now, we know that this temple, which Daniel was hearing about, which was not yet even in existence, because at this time, remember, Daniel was in Babylon. There was no temple. The first temple had been destroyed. It was just a plowed field. There was nothing standing there. Daniel was hearing about the temple being rebuilt. Now he was hearing about it being destroyed. And this was a long time in the future. And we know that the second temple was destroyed in the year 70 by the Romans. So this actually puts this in a point of reference which we can actually know for sure when this prophecy was fulfilled by the people of the prince to come. We'll say a little bit later what we understand by the prince to come, but the people who actually destroyed the temple were the Romans in the year 70.